Once they say that once there's life, there's hope. But in actual fact, when that hope comes, life comes. When you are doing things, understand that your actions also affect others, just as their actions affect you. Sometimes, let's say mental age and chronological age, two good heads too. Two good heads.
Too good heads, true. It's not two heads.
Not just say two heads are better than one. Two good heads.
In today's video, we are talking about something really, really important and really, really, strategic in this day and age. And on here, I have a guest. Yes, I have a guest, and I'm just going to let him introduce himself.
Okay, so thank you so much, Duni. So, my name is Eniola. I'm a clinical psychologist, a licensed clinical psychologist with the Nigerian Association of Clinical Psychologists, and I've been practicing cognitively for 5 years, 6 years, and prior to that, I've been in the field of psychology maybe about 15 years, and I believe that as things are now, I am strongly motivated to help in terms of mental wellness of individuals. So I do as much as I can do all around me in terms of in social settings, in advocating for mental wellness and uh, abstinence from substance use, based on the fact that I've seen a whole lot of the dangers attached to, substance use, and a lot of mental health disorders that are secondary to substance use. So I'm happy that you have me here on your show. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity.
By the way, guys, with all of this, he's my uncle. I'm giving him the opportunity. He's the one giving me the opportunity. I mean, personal development and psychology.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's good to be here. It's good to be here. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So the first thing we're first going to address is change. So from your point of view, from a psychologist's point of view, why do people find it so hard to change, even when they know what to do?
Well, it depends on the context of what they want to change. There's a there's a theory that talks about the stages of change, and the stage is a circle. It starts with pre-contemplation. From pre-contemplation, you lead or move to the contemplation stage. From contemplation stage, you move to the preparatory stage. From the preparatory stage to the action stage. From action stage to maintenance. Now, at this point, or at every gap between each stage, relapse can happen. That means the person can revert back to saying that, you know what, I don't want to go there. So it's a thing that takes motivation. It takes a level of determination. So sometimes some life events can be that drive or that motivation that would keep the person going in the direction of maintaining that change.
Okay.
Yes. So it depends on what you want, behavioral modification you want. Say for instance, substance is something that has a biological factor that even if you are motivated by some external environment, there are some biological factors that the substance has actually caused. So, as a result of that, we refer to substance use disorder as a chronic relapsing brain disease. So that means if you see people who say, you know what, I want to stop smoking marijuana, I want to stop smoking, I want to stop drinking, and all that, I'm trying and all that. The reason is because it's psychoactive. It's something that once in the system, it interacts with the brain reward system. So there's that pleasure,
Ah,
there's that feeling of uh, achievement, feeling of high, as they say, but it's actually dopamine release, a neurotransmitter. I don't want to go too scientific, you
yeah.
know. So the idea is that there's a biological aspect of it, you know. I'm referring to substance. I'm just using
Okay.
that as a case study. So even in when we do interventions, that's why often at times we use the biopsychosocial approach. That means if you want change from a maladaptive behavior, say let's say substance use, you know, you don't just focus on the social aspect of, oh, let him stop going out. Let's block the access to the substance. We don't
Mm.
just focus on, oh, enablers. Let's try and avoid him, you know. Don't focus on that alone. We also look at psychological aspects of it, you know, the drive behind the smoking. What are the things that precipitated the use, in terms of what are the things that kind of made the person say, you know what, this is going to be my coping skill. You know, I need to relax. You
Mm.
know, so what is he relaxing from? So you look at it. Okay, well, let's look for healthier things he can do. Then the biological aspect, you know, is biopsychosocial. You know, the
Okay.
biological aspect talks about the biology of it, the genetic factor. A lot of people don't know this, but in actual fact, let's assume in your makeup, DNA makeup, there's nobody in the family that has history of any substance use, not even alcohol, not cocaine, not
Mm.
cannabis, you know, nobody in the family. The fact that that particular individual has started using it, it has begun with that person. So that means the offspring, there will be a trace of substance use. So
Yeah.
substance is broad. You know, I'm not saying cannabis alone,
Mm-hmm.
talking about alcohol, talking about weed, as they say.
Yes.
And there's a popular one that is destroying their lives, you know, Colorado.
Colos.
They say it's Colos, you know. But it doesn't even have to get to Colos. A lot of people will say that, oh, Colos is too high. I don't go there. I just take my loud. I just take my
And
Canadian
just
loud. I
be
just take my
happy.
all those things and all. They are all psychoactive substances, and they are all addictive. And what happens is, for instance, change. You want to stop using it because it's addictive. The brain reward circuit is like already enjoying it and it's craving it. And if it doesn't get it, there'll be a withdrawal symptom. That
Mm.
means the person's body is craving for it. I need this thing. So that's when you start feeling the itch to, you know. So change is a process, or are processes. It's a circle. So the person must understand the stage they are on and where they want to get to on that continuum.
Okay.
But when it's biological, oh, you need help, support. Yeah.
Okay, that was really nice. And I just want to touch on the point of, sorry, I'm a science student, but I don't like to claim it because now I'm in media. You
Hmm.
said pre-contemplative
Yeah, that's the
contempt.
first stage,
Okay.
contemplation.
So now where most people have the issue in terms of like now relating it to personal development is when they want to get to that active stage. Like to now actually do it, act on that change of those pre-contemplative.
Okay, so now depending on the context, I use drug. So
Mm.
let's say another context outside of drug. So probably if the person feels that they want to do something, or they
Mm.
want to, then they've passed the pre-contemplation.
Yeah.
Then they are actually in contemplating, because they are looking at it that, okay, I want to do this thing, but there's a but. There
Mm.
will always be a but.
Mm.
I need to have the funds to do it. How do I get it? You know, it's not as if I don't want to, you know. So it's not, that's what you're describing is the contemplation, you know.
Okay.
But when that person has actually, you know, looked at it that, okay, there's a but, you know, but how do I get
Mm.
it done? So the person start researching, start looks, okay, this is I can get an additional stream of income by doing this, so that I can have enough money, or I can meet this person, you know. Okay, so I'll do this, I'll do this. Person
Mm.
is now getting closer to action
Yeah.
because he's preparing.
Okay.
preparatory stage. That okay, so I'm doing this. Okay, so let me see. Okay, so I'm going to be taking night classes so I can know how to do this thing. Okay, so I need to make payments. Okay, so I've gathered the money. So this they are preparing.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the preparation stage. So from what if I'm to pick it, if I'm picking what you're analyzing, the person is either in contemplation or preparatory state,
Yes.
you know. So the person wants to action it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so it's between that, So sometimes, just like, don't mind me, I like using substance because substance is really affecting a whole lot
Yeah.
of. It's like a blight in our society, and a lot of people are ignoring it. They see it, but they'll be like, no, 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 not my
It's even
children,
fun now for
not my children.
youth now. It's fun. Like it's
Yeah,
something we take pride in.
So
That
the peer pressure is is a whole lot to battle with, but
they used to say it's somebody
that's
that
what.
has peer that can pressure.
That's a good
it's
one. Someone that
he
has peer
that can
that can receive
pressure.
pressure.
Yes.
So it's
So
yeah. So in fact, that's another thing. There's an external influence and there's that internal drive as well.
mm,
So sometimes, I don't want to go too deep again, but nature nurture. There's an aspect of yourself that, imagine if your parents or the parents, when I mean parents, I'm not talking of parents, I'm talking
yeah.
of biologically, have sown that seed of being predisposed to substance use. That means even if the person has not had a physical encounter, there's that predisposition
Mm-hmm.
to it because it's an aspect of his DNA, an aspect of the gene that can. So when there's that stimulation from the environment,
Yeah.
it's easier because it's already in. So it's like connection for that which is within connects with the environment,
Okay.
and it's felt. So that's why you see some people, they'll be like, but your friend, this person is not doing this person is not doing, but you are doing it. There's a factor. There's
Mm-hmm.
something within that connects with
Yeah.
that and all that. But
Okay, so touching up on, I had a lot of parents, a lot of that line. So, what role does our childhood or upbringing play in how we respond to growth or correction as adults now?
hmm,
Because a lot of people now they don't want to take to corrections; they just want to sit back on. I have this in my mind, and it's so difficult for me to like. They just don't want to learn. They don't want to unlearn some certain things. They just want to stick to what they know, what has been passed down to them, and they want to run with that in this fluid world now where things change like every other day.
yeah, there are a couple of things to look at here. I spoke of nature nurture. That's one. So upbringing and what is already within the environment. How a lot of times parents, it's not easy being a parent. Before you could drive a tractor, you need a level of a kind of license to drive a tractor.
Yeah.
To drive a car, you need a level of the driver license will be, I think, there's a
Think
number.
class D or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
If it's a bike, you need another, But to be a parent, you don't need a license.
Mm.
You understand? But parenting is it requires skill. It requires know-how because when a child is growing up, the brain is like a sponge. It's absorbing everything. So sometimes when you say, "Do as I say, don't do as
As I
I do,"
do. Get
so
you.
the child's brain is speaking the say and do together. Hmm? So that's a factor. So personality development is as a result of that, both nature and nurture. So the
Mm.
person's personality traits. And personality traits, when you look at it, um, there are different scales when we use our assessment tools as clinical psychologists. Tools that measure different traits. Now, at the moment whereby there's a T score or BR score or whatever, depending on the tool we are using,
Mm-hmm.
that when it's more than a certain number, it's a spike. That means
Okay.
it is something that is now,
Above
it could
normal.
be a problem. Yes, it's
Okay.
above and it's spiked. Now there's something that below that particular score, and let's say between 75 and 85. Well, when it's at 85, that's when it's spiked. But
Okay.
between 85 and 75, that is the person's dominant personality trait. So that's I'm just breaking down some things about
Yeah.
some of our tools that we use as clinical psychologists to assess. Then when you are from that below 75 and all
Mm.
that, I'm just paraphrasing, that it also shows that particular trait in that person, how you know how dominant it is,
Mm.
or how it is not as how recessive it is. So I'm
Okay.
using the language of gene now.
Okay.
Recessive gene, dominant gene. How recessive? Oh, I don't want to use too much terms. Okay. How non? How? I'm trying to look for.
You just
Borrow
go
me a
with it,
phrase.
run with it. Like, cause me, this is just recessive
Okay.
that's coming to my head right now.
Okay. So it's not as strong as the other traits.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put.
Okay.
So now, if a person now has, that means there are different people with different personality traits. The fact that you grew up with the same parents, I grew up with the same parents. Somehow, my personality will be different from,
Yeah.
yeah, Kehinde and Taiwo.
Mm-hmm.
Their personality is still
It's still
different.
different. Yeah.
So there's that individual differences.
Mm-hmm.
Now, apart from individual differences, now it is. I'll now use another theory, but I don't want to be too theoretical. But learning in itself, it's two continuums. It's either you're using instinct or you're using learning. The more you learn, the less of
Mm.
the instinct you're using. The more you
Use your instinct.
use your instinct, the
Mm.
more the less of the learning
Learning.
of a thing you don't. So it's like that. So at times, some people find it difficult to um, modify or evolve as a result of a level of rigidity. So learning itself is a relatively permanent change
Mm-hmm.
in pattern of behavior. Remember, as a result of experience. So it's
Yeah.
so you had an experience. As a result of that experience, you were walking, you didn't see the stone, but you hit the stone and it pained your leg and you fell down. Oh, so and you're looking at, oh, it's pained you and all that. So tomorrow when you're passing that same
Yeah.
place, but before you get there, because of the experience of
Well,
yesterday, you'll be
yeah.
like, oh, there's a stone somewhere here. You've learned.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Yeah.
You understand? So that's learning. Now, instinct is the other way, is that's why you kick the stone, next day you pass through. It's still the same instinctive way you walk that you were doing it yesterday. You still do it. You didn't adjust.
Yeah.
So sometimes they wrestle against each other.
Mm.
So the person is like configured or programmed to do things in a certain way because of how they've been. So now change coming, like, okay, correction coming, like, no, 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 don't do like this. It's difficult for the person to,
Yeah.
because the programming is strong.
How can they
I
reduce?
want to use
Because
program. I want to use a computer program. The programming is very strong.
how do they reduce that? Because
But now sometimes we as clinical psychologists, some when we meet with clients, and you you are able to assess properly and identify the places of distress and all that, and we work together. We see
mm,
how we can, you know you and I guide you. You see how the challenges you're facing, and we trace what may have been the cause,
yeah,
and where the adjustment or where the behavior modification, the change you're talking
yeah, we
about,
have to come
needs
through.
to be done. And once that we work together on it, on that the task and all that. But as a result of that, personality traits, learning, being able to modify or adjust,
Mm.
or play a very strong role in being able to, say, you take to correction, or you
Yes, you're teachable.
you you, you know you know then there are a lot of factors, but I don't know if you have enough time. But there's also a level of emotional intelligence, but that emotional intelligence that you have is also is gotten as a result of personality, the build up, the programming,
Mm-hmm.
how you are programmed. If you're programmed to have a high level of problem solving skills, and being able to be be humble, let me use that word,
Yeah,
even if I don't want to, that you don't
the,
just react.
yeah,
on your emotions, and that you know it helps. So I say problem identified is half solved. So
Yeah.
if you understand yourself, if you are patient enough and humble enough to see yourself as a self context, that means in a self context, that means rather than using emotions, step out of
Mm,
yourself and try and look at it that, okay, how can I be better? What am I doing wrong?
logically.
Okay, so yeah, using logic, rationality, functionality, and all that, not emotions,
Yeah.
you know, and looking at it that how can I, you know, so sometimes our loved ones help us with that when they try to correct us, or when they say that, "Ah, you know what, I think to me, this thing you're doing, think Oku there Koto, abi? How do they
Go
say am for
kudie kato.
Kato?
Yeah.
She's teaching me Yoruba, so and you wonder and you say that, but so sometimes because those loved ones, we respect them and love them, we are able to succumb.
Yeah,
But
too.
when someone else who probably you don't give that regard to sees it and says it, you might not,
Mm,
sometimes, So there are a lot of factors to that effect, but like I've broken it down for you with terms of learning, instinct, terms of personality, traits as a result of the programming from your upbringing, both nature and nurture,
yeah.
that's the environment and
Yeah.
the genetic factors, and the home environment and even school environment. In social studies, we did
Yeah.
something about agents of socialization.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, so me, I remember. So agents of socialization, family was the first agent.
Oh yes, it's just clicking now.
Ours is next one.
Family, school, teaching, school.
Mhm.
Um.
Religious institutions
Yes.
and government
Yes.
institutions and things
Oh,
like
but
that.
God.
So yeah, see, I'm forgetting. How old are you there? I'm forgetting.
Just a
Okay,
Gen Z.
okay. So the point is this. There are a lot of factors. So wanting to be better is something that comes from within. Yes, there might be an environmental factor that triggers something, but it triggers something within, that would make you give you the drive and the
Mm,
motivation to be like, I need to change this, or I need to make things better, or I'm not comfortable with the way things are, and so it's something that comes from within,
yeah.
even though it can be influenced by.
External factors. And you even answered my next question. How can someone begin to unlearn limiting patterns
Oh,
or beliefs that hold them back?
I
Yeah,
think I've
you've
covered that.
answered. Yes, we've covered that. So to the next one, and we're moving to psychology of self-awareness. The first question here is, how can people become more self-aware without being overly critical of themselves? Like, so they
Self-aware.
don't judge themselves too much, because I started personal development with self-awareness at 16, and I'm not going to lie, it was an outbreak that made me actually become self-aware. Like, come
Who's the
first, what
person?
is the person is not of use, like the person is not important right now. The person is, I can't remember last time I spoke to the person, but like it was that made me realize that I was just 16. It just made me realize that, come, there is more to me than all of this, because I realized my lapses in the whole relationship thing. I was like, I can do better than this. Like, I can be better than this. This is, there's more to me than what I just gave out. So that just made me
We'll
like
have that
step
discussion
into.
after.
So that just made me to like step into personal development. Like, I need to develop myself, because there was
Okay.
just something, and I didn't
Sorry,
judge
I was
myself. By the way,
distracted by your example. I forgot
God,
the
I
question.
beg.
Because that example,
How can
we'll do
people?
family meeting over it because I don't understand.
Oh God, I put
Okay.
myself in trouble.
Oh yeah. So the question
How
again.
can people become more self-aware without being overly critical of themselves?
Self-aware. It's just progress. This one is doesn't even have anything. Okay, that everything has to do with behavior, really. But
Mm,
progress, wanting to be better, self-actualization. There's this hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow. Don't mind me, I'm always using theory. My background is that everything we say must be an evidence-based practice,
yeah,
so that but I
must
don't
be a
want to
backup. Must
bore
be backed up by
people.
something.
Evidence-based, that
Yeah.
means standardized, scientific and all that, because that's what psychology is: a scientific study of human and animal behavior and their mental processes.
Mm,
So the point is this, using Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Physiological needs first, safety, security, and all that. Gradually. Then on top is self-actualization. Not too many people get there, but there's in between there, there's love somewhere, there's esteem somewhere, there's in between, there's prestige somewhere. But on
Yeah.
right on top there, there's self-actualization, wanting to be better. Self-actualization, at that point you've achieved everything, but it's not about the physical things. It's not about the material things. It's just about from within. It's now something existential. Sorry,
Existential.
I'm biting my tongue. Say it again.
Existential.
Say it again.
Existential.
Say it 10 times without saying.
Now,
Okay, existential, you
eh,
know. So, things that it's just wanting to be better day by day in every way. There's a saying, I heard it somewhere, I think, that you should be saying that things are getting better.
yeah.
You should be saying things better,
Saying positive things to yourself.
yeah, yeah.
Positive
So you
affirmations and all of
want,
that.
yeah, yeah. So let's not deviate really, but what I'm trying to say is this: wanting to be better is for your own good. So if the person is having, mental health is one aspect of health.
Yeah.
There's the physical, there's the social, and all that. So if a person wants to be holistically healthy, and it has to do with life achievements too, social things and all that. So normally you want a better salary, or you want to be someone that maybe not reliant on salary, be your own boss,
Yeah.
and not have to ask anybody for money or anything. That's financial aspect.
Yeah.
Now, normally you want to be loved by people, be in a relationship and all that. And if you are stagnant, if you are not progressive, if you are just staying stagnant, you know, that's why sometimes some people say, and this is very important. And I'm going, it's taking me somewhere else different from my question, but I think I need to clear it, because a lot of time when you get comfortable, when things are all good and all that, you want to think outside of the box. You want to, you know,
Think of ways you
put
can be
yourself
better
out there or
or
take risks to do
stress
something better.
yourself. Yeah.
Now, the point now is that when the environment now brings a problem or a challenge or a task that makes you uncomfortable, rather than you seeing that stressor or that discomfort or that problem as a challenge that has come so that you can be better and leave your comfort zone, you see it like, oh, everything was going fine, and this, why is this thing disturbing me? But it's keeping you on your toes. It's giving you an opportunity to be active and do something to be better, resolve and solve the problem,
Yeah.
because it is part of it. Being able to cope with the daily stresses of life, it's part of the criteria for mental
Mental
health.
health.
Yeah, according to
Yeah.
the World Health Organization. So I hope that answers that, because I think I
Yes.
almost deviated like twice. I tried to
Yeah.
bring myself back.
Yes, you did. Now this one is sort of a list.
Okay.
So, what are simple psychological tools? I mean, tools now, not literally material tools, but
I
it could
understand.
be psychological tools people can use daily to understand their emotions or their reactions better.
Understanding yourself. There's an aspect, again, evidence based. We call it introspection. It's by it's a theory in psychology, and it looks at literally examining within.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, introspection is actually exploring yourself and just looking at it and weighing yourself that, okay, my day, how it went, what went wrong, what how I can improve tomorrow,
Yeah.
and all
I do
that.
that every night actually before I sleep,
Yeah,
and it
so
has helped.
yeah, yeah, but sometimes balance is everything. Sometimes if you overdo it, you now be like, oh, why me? Why am I
Yeah.
always like this? So you do it with a purpose to be better, not a purpose to create guilt or create uh, low self-esteem,
Esteem,
or
yeah.
hate for yourself or hate for somebody. It's just to improve.
Yeah.
The only constant thing in life is change.
Change.
So, and I don't want to be taking too much. What do you call it? Inspirational speaking by saying,
Motivation. Yeah, we deal with
uh,
discipline. We don't run motivation here.
yeah. So I don't
Discipline.
want to say too much of those things that
Yeah.
uh, opportunity.
Aspire to prosper.
Me,
Opportunity comes not to us. We clown it.
so I don't want to go into that really, but there's one that says that luck in itself is preparedness meeting opportunity.
Opportunity.
So the fact that you're introspecting, you're looking at that. Okay, so when this situation comes again, what can I do better to
Mm.
have a better outcome? So sometimes that helps too. It's a
Okay.
tool. You said two,
Yeah, too.
right? So I'm the one that was going
Going
too
to
deep.
skills. You could,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
I think you could serve as skills too, though. Yeah. Two more questions to go.
Okay.
Might be three, sha.
Mm.
How can self awareness help with decision making and relationships?
Okay, so yeah, it enables you, self awareness enables you see it from the other person's perspective. It's, I said something earlier, I used the term self context.
Mm.
So that means at a point in time, look at your situation like a context, not being biased about it, not being emotional about it, but just looking at it that, okay, this is the way the whole thing is. Okay, if I were in this guy's, not even if I was in his shoes, but based on the interaction that
Mm.
happened, I'm neutral to it. Let me just look at it. Okay, yeah, truly, yeah, it's not going to really help this person. Yeah, okay, so how would that person feel? Okay, so what, depending on the person's personality, how would the person likely react? Okay, so the person reacting this way, you know where it's coming from. That okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I reacted this way. Okay, then myself or the way I reacted, okay, I reacted that way because yes, I felt this and all that. Okay, but now looking at it, understanding where it's coming from, okay, maybe I can adjust this way, and maybe he too should adjust at certain way.
Mm.
Well, let's try and keep our emotions aside. Okay, so you know what? Think we can make it work this way. It's introspection. It's all about balancing things. Not being too extreme, not being
Mm.
too myopic. Looking at it that
Too short sighted.
that's only me. So another theory. I don't want to go too much, but
Yeah.
the id, people that understand psychoanalysis will understand that what it is all about. It's just pleasure seeking, always thinking about satisfying. But when there's another aspect
Mm.
that tries to balance things and look at it that okay, what, there's an environment, there are other people too, there are
Yeah.
other
Uh-huh.
things that so let's tame the id. The ego does something and tries to
Id. Like spell it.
ID.
ID.
Mm.
Identification.
Don't mind Sigmund Freud.
Good.
That's how I came up with it.
Science.
Yeah, so you know the ego tries to balance between the super ego. The super ego is the moral aspect, because the
Oh, I
super ego is
offense.
pulling, it is pushing. The ego is trying to balance it and see how they can both be satisfied and the goal can be achieved. So really, sometimes it's all about balance and you being able to be emotionally intelligent enough to
Mm-hmm.
balance yourself at that point in time. Sometimes it just takes you taking a step back, not acting or making decision at that point
Mm.
in time, because probably you're not your thought process is not something that is fast, fast, fast. If you act fast, 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 it will be on emotion.
Yeah.
So you need to utilize experience. That means your learnings.
Mm-hmm.
So you step back and try and see from experience the best action. So sometimes it helps not only using your experience, but the experience of others.
So that's
That's where reading comes in. You see people reading things about achieving, or about some people going calling people to come and speak and give them knowledge that they
mm.
have. The likes of Obama.
Yeah.
You know, an ex-president, the first black president in America. You know, people when it comes and people be like, wow, yeah,
They want to listen.
sometimes in substance use, people that were able to overcome the most addictive kind of
Mm.
substances. Once they say that once there's life, there's
Life
hope.
as well.
But in actual fact, when that hope comes, life comes.
Ah,
I just thought of that now. I'm
spot
serious.
on.
I just thought of that now because the
True.
common thing people say is that when there's
There's
life,
life,
there's
there's
hope.
hope.
But when hope comes,
That's when life actually now really
that's when
begins.
you're living.
You're living, yeah.
You might have not been living.
Sense too plenty for this life, sha. Oh wait, though, this one is that off
That's what I'm saying. I'm going off, so you need to
question.
pull me
No,
back.
wait, though, we're on track. Oh, but me,
Uh,
I just want to ask one question that is not in the list. You were saying you have to now consider the other person, but
hmm.
sometimes some people can do it like they are now the ones like suppressing themselves and letting the other
Yes.
person keep on.
So that means they are
You
not
can't walk
balancing
all
it.
over me.
I said balance. So it's not a matter of you carry their own on your own head and start dragging your own on the ground.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. Balance. Understanding that we are social beings, we are
Mm.
social animals, we are higher animals. So we work on not instinct alone, but we interact based on learning. We interact based on cognition. We have a very functional frontal lobe,
Mm.
and we can think, we can reason, we can create. We have ability to think abstractly. you know I don't want to go too deep into that, but as a result, utilize it. Don't go
Mm.
primitive on your and be on the eat side and be like, it's just well, I shouldn't be thinking for you now and all that. Sometimes when you're thinking for the problem, you're making your own problem less, because
Yeah.
that person, if the person does something, it will have an effect that will end
Yeah.
up affecting
Mm-hmm.
you. If you now say that, okay, so are you telling me I should be thinking of others and not myself? No,
Mm-mm.
that's what I'm not saying that. But when you are doing things, understand that your actions also affect others, just as their actions affect
Affect
you.
you.
So use emotional intelligence. Be wise enough to understand that and be smarter. So that's
Mm.
why sometimes when they say mental age and chronological age, your chronological age is
Yeah,
your
it's a
birth age, but
normal,
your
yeah.
mental age is when they say maturity, is because at a point in time you are able to think like that maturely. So
Mm.
sometimes some people that are so advanced in chronological age, their mental age has not gotten to that level, and there are different realms,
Mm-hmm.
or how will I say, there are different domains of quotients. There's emotional quotients, intelligence
Intelligence
quotients, and
quotient.
so some people they will be so intellectually sound in school that the first class student that did this, that did that, but when it comes to adversity quotients, when distress comes, when they have one carryover, or they want to commit suicide, or when a person breaks up with them, they are thinking of it, the world has ended and all that, because that adversary quotient is low, it's not strong.
Mm.
Doing this in terms of what you say, that are you saying I'm thinking for that, is building your own capacity. So that means
Mm.
you are
Mm.
going as far as being uh responsible enough to handle not only your distress but the distress
Wow.
of others. So if you are strong enough to think 3 4 steps ahead and all that, you are covered, because you would have definitely thought of yourself as
Mm.
well. So
Yes.
so you things are connected. You've resolved problems, or you've prevented problems that
Mm.
could have happened from happening.
This could likely be um the last question. But just briefly, let me just take two more. Briefly, shortly. How can people tell when they need therapy versus when self work is enough? Like self work, is it that therapy or self work? How would they tell which one they
What do you
need
mean
to,
self-work?
like they need to work on themselves, like start
Oh,
being self aware, do personal development, build themselves to like a certain level, a certain stage where
so I think
yeah.
the two work hand in hand. So if you're doing something yourself and you're doing something and someone is still helping you doing it, you'll be more effective. So that's why they say two good heads. So two good heads. So
It's too good. It's true. It's not two heads.
not just say
It's
two heads are
called
better than one.
nasty heads.
Two good heads. So that's why sometimes having the support, the good head aspect is that it's someone's profession. It's in the person's field. I'm seeing someone who is qualified
Licensed.
mental health professional who will help you through that particular thing. And even within the field, there are some people that are specialized in an aspect. So it's not one man knows all. So having that and you being insightful about your condition or situation or whatever you want to do goes a long way. Now, how do you know? Like you said, it depends on what it is. So let's just use the World Health Organization's definition of health. Health in general itself is the the
Instead of well-being or being state of well. I'm not exactly what. Let me just zip
it
it.
doesn't have to be science. The complete well-being
Mm,
of an individual, physically, mentally,
mentally.
and socially.
Okay.
So that means you might be physically fit and you are there's no complaint in terms of anatomy or physiology of your body and all
Mm,
that, but there are a level of distress, you know, in terms of your concentration, in terms of sleep, in terms of appetite, in terms of even your thought pattern, unhealthy thought
mm,
patterns, suicidal ideation or suicidal intents. It's unhealthy, you know, because of stresses of life and all that. Cognitive processes. Sometimes you might be hearing voices and you believe. Some religious people actually,
mm.
in the Bible, we hear, God
You're
spoke.
already entering my last
God
question.
spoke to Moses.
You're entering my last question. Psychology and
Okay,
faith.
okay, so God, okay, so
Should we just
maybe
take it? Okay.
okay, so
Let's just take it. How can psychology and faith work together in building a healthy mind and a purposeful life?
okay, so let me finish that one, then I'll move.
Yeah.
Okay, so Moses was spoken to, right? Yeah, and he heard the voice audibly. But na- I don't know in the New Testament too, when Christ was baptized, you know, in the form of a dove, said, "This is
Yeah,
my
beloved
son,
son,
in
in
whom
whom
I
I'm
want
well
pleased."
pleased.
I'm trying to remember if it was everybody that heard it there, or it was
Maybe it
only.
was everybody.
Uh,
Around John, yeah, the dove came and she was like, now
so
Jesus from
I need
heaven.
my
Yeah.
Bible scholars
Yes,
to
to assist
identify
with that,
that.
please let us know in the
But I
comments.
think it was something that it was everybody that heard. I'm just assuming. So, but so truly people can hear from God. But sometimes when there's a level of over spirituality, and
Tell me about it.
you are hearing voices. So the spirituality aspect is just one part of it, and there are some psychotic symptoms that it doesn't go well with religion.
Mm-hmm.
Because delusions come in and all that. So
Yeah.
that's the angle I'm going at. Hearing voices is not good. It's not a good sign.
Ah, God, I beg.
So when you say you want to know hearing voices, so sometimes they be like, it's a gift in our family.
Ah, go and
It's
check
my
English
clinical.
book.
So it's just something that you might want to check if you are
Mm,
hearing,
voices.
or if you're over suspicious of people. Sometimes that those
Mm,
people in that room they're talking about me. I know they are. I know they are. Although I've ignored them. It's a level of paranoia over suspiciousness, believing, so cognition, if the cognitive pattern or thought pattern of the person is not, you need to check it. So in terms of spiritual
yeah,
aspect now,
psychology and faith working together in
yeah, so
building a
there's an
healthy mind.
aspect, a newer field of psychology, relatively new, that's referred to as spiritual psychology, an aspect of psychology that looks at things that surround religion, that surround faith, that surround things that has to do with the mind. I mean, that has to do with the spirit. You know, I don't want to go into theology too much,
Now I'm interested in
but
it.
there's
I
an
think I'm going to
aspect
read on
of
it.
it that that priests cover too as well, or clerics cover too as well, spirituality in that realm. You know, but a lot of time it's a very strong factor in health because there's a there's an aspect of wellness, a domain of mental wellness that has to do with spirituality, being resolved with spirituality. At times when there's the burden of life, uh, you, you're having normal distress in life, job issues, or rent is due, all those kind of things, and sometimes your person might just, for Christians, Muslims too, it's religion,
Yeah, it
even
cuts
the others
across
too as well. It's
cases
just religion.
goodness.
The point is this: when there's something beyond you that you know, or that you rely on, that this thing past my power, it has a way of taking the burden off you and helps your sanity, helps your mental health.
Yeah. Jesus,
In
man.
that, when that purposely is discussable, so when those things happen, having something to hand it over, like, so I see some people, not some people, when you go to church sometimes and you are looking at it that, how do I fuel the car? You know what? I went to Okada. I went to Okada. Everybody carry Okada, and you get to church and you're looking at it. I need to be out strength and all that. But after the service, after the worship and all that, and the word came, and you just saw that, oh God will provide for my needs according to His
Yeah,
glory. That
just
the
feel
miracle, the
like
way He has done it in the previous and it, and your mind just, and you prayed and your mind just handed it to God. Somehow you feel lighter and you feel happy after church service.
yeah.
That's spiritual side. It's an aspect.
Are you for
It's
real?
covered in that aspect because you handed it over. So even sometimes, for society, if you are thinking of everything and you think that life is, there's nothing after life, you would look at it. If I end my life, everything ends now. Nothing there. But if there's something in the back of your mind, what does the Bible tell you about if you kill yourself? What does the Bible tell you?
You're asking me.
I'm just saying. Do you read the
Boy.
Bible?
Oh, yeah. Yes, now.
Okay,
Yes.
so what's the
Child, don't kill
general?
yourself.
It's not only the Bible, but generally in terms
Just
of,
don't
not
do
okay,
it.
not all religions, but in the in Christianity and Islam, for instance, what do you think is the belief about suicide?
Just don't do it. You're not the owner of your life. So why do you want to take it?
What will happen after, God forbid, the person does it?
I don't like to judge, but I feel like the person will person have query. Oh,
The Ten Commandments. What part? What part talks
thou shalt
about?
not kill now.
So when you kill yourself, have you not broken?
Yes, but the fire we know that one, but
And so that's, I'm
query.
just saying, that's motivation for some, for enough for some people, that even though everything is not going well, but they just feel like, if I keep myself, I'll not go to fire again.
We cannot suffer
That
two
alone
times.
can,
How many person no suffer two times?
you understand? Because in actual fact, and then a lot of that's what that we're calling. I forgot that.
No, we can
That's my tongue. Oh,
existential.
say it again.
Existential.
Existential
Yes.
crisis. So existential crisis, it helps a lot, when you're looking at what's my purpose, what's this, what have I done, what is the, what's life in itself, what is life? What, asking silly questions. So we to just enjoy it.
Bro,
Yeah, thinking. So a lot of it are resolved in that sphere of psychology. You know that. So a lot of time we delve into it in clinical aspect as well. It's just, when to go there and when not to go there. It takes a professional to do that. So
exactly.
don't just say, oh yeah. So this interview, right, is not for you to go and be practicing. It's for you to be aware of certain things that affect your mental health, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not go and see somebody if there's a problem. Not that you tell yourself that, this person, and you now see the person. No, but I'm not lecturing you on what to do,
Yeah.
but it's for you to seek the help you need, or the help the person needs, or for you to be observant when there's someone in need of help. When someone using substance, when someone is having psychotic breakdown unknown to them, when someone is having some mental health challenges as well. So yeah, I think that covers the spiritual
Yes,
aspect,
you
right?
have. Yes, you have. And that brings us to the end of this video. And nice cap. You really capped it well.
Mm.
Not literal like cap. The literal meaning of
What does
cap.
cap
Not
mean?
okay. Social media slang. Cap means lie.
Hmm?
You're capping. You're lying.
Mm.
Yes. Well, literally like cap like covers it. I
I
think
thought
that's it.
cap meant you went on.
You're foul.
I'm joking. I'm joking. I know what it means.
Yeah. Okay. So that ends it well. Yeah. Thank you for gracing my YouTube channel. I mean,
You're
people have
welcome.
learned a lot,
You're
a whole
welcome. You're
lot.
welcome. You're
And
welcome.
yeah, guys, if you want to reach out to him, just leave a comment or I don't know, join the community. And yeah, so I really learned a lot from this, and I don't even know where to start from because most of what he said now is like things that I've always been putting into practice, things I've realized. Because I like to before I was more of an impulsive person. So before this video, I was telling him the difference between a tiger and a lion. I'm a zoologist. So a lion is impulsive, like he just acts on instinct, acts on impulse. He sees something, even if it's food, if it's defense, he just pounces on it. Or like a tiger, is very strategic. He will just be moving in between the reeds, like he's moving inside the reeds, and it's only the tail you'll be seeing. So if you're very observant, you will see a tiger coming from afar. But if you're not, like it will have touched you finish before you realize, and by then, I promise you,
So the
you
tail will
know,
be up while it's.
why the body is like inside.
So the tail is never down when it's
No, when
about to.
it's no, it's very strategic. Won't show any. Kole stress Sarah and I cannot stress himself.
Mm.
So yeah, so I've always been more of a lion than a tiger. But like I said, self-awareness brought me to that space of being a tiger. So now I talk less and listen more. So now I watch and I let people like do your thing.
I remember this song. I have the tiger. There was a
This one,
soundtrack for Rocky. It's an old school song.
I can't know
See
it.
old school like that.
I can't know it. I'm a James or
Just
Kenyola.
so just check High of the Tiger a song. Just
Okay,
it was a soundtrack for Rocky, the movie.
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't moving
I have the
on.
tiger. You see, and say okay.
Yes, so that's lovely. So most of these things I can actually relate to it. So basically, I'm just going to cap it with understanding yourself is the foundation for self growth. So first, knowing yourself, knowing what you're capable of. I know that's an anthem on this channel already. What you're capable of doing, what you're capable of not doing, the limits by which you can, and the extent to which you can go to is like knowing that okay, I need to now take a step towards personal development or self growth and know in what areas or aspects in which you need to act. So yeah, I really enjoyed this, and it was a whole lot of learning experience that now I've actually covered myself because family meeting go long like this, but we
Let
got
me
people
just
do.
say something that for
Okay,
help you can go to any of your mental health facilities around you,
we have them in
or
Nigeria.
general, yes, or general hospitals or
Okay.
teaching hospitals. All teaching hospitals would have a a department for behavior. So don't don't let the name psychiatry scare you.
Mm,
It's not everybody that goes into that department that has having breakdown, all that. If you need to see a psychologist, there are departments, psychology departments
mm,
as well. Some of them are under or are units under
mm.
psychiatry. And
Okay.
some facilities they stand alone as a department, but often at times they stand alone as a department. So, just register and even from your own health provider, even if it's you can get referrals to,
Mm,
you know, so even for the people that have challenges based on violence, domestic violence.
mm,
I know Lagos State government has a particular ministry for that. Lagos State domestic violence and and allows and all that. So those things are out there. don't stigmatize and say
Yeah.
that, oh, I'm not mad, I'm not, because that word itself is not, you know
Yeah, it's not
yeah, I'm
right
not
to be used.
having this, I'm not, it's just when you need to talk to someone neutral, someone who is trained in that
Mm,
aspect. Not that you go and talk to somebody who's having friends to talk to, is helps, but confidentiality
yeah.
might not be there. But with the health professional, there's confidentiality. So it's not like your whole thing is, so um, seek help when you when where you can get it
Mm.
from a health professional. Any of these facilities, by the
They've got it.
government, by private facilities, and even hospitals. So just tell your doctor, even if you're general practitioner, that, oh,
Okay.
you know what, you want to speak with a psychologist, or someone, you want to talk to someone
Mm.
concerning some challenges or distressful situations in your life.
Okay. And that brings me, I just remembered something. So I have an uncle who's a psychiatrist, and he always, like,
Mm.
I learn a lot from him. Honestly, I'm not even going to lie. I learn a lot from him. And there was a time where we were driving on the road, and this is Nigeria. I mean, you see a lot of people that are not in this dimension. Now, I'll give a reason as to why I'm using that word very soon. So we called him mad then, and he was like, no, they are not mad. They are not just in our dimension, like they can't just understand
Then
what's
another
going on.
reality.
Yes, so they are not literally mad people, they are just not
So it's an
in
illness too.
this.
Just like
Yes.
malaria is an illness,
Mm-hmm.
just like high blood pressure, hypertension is
Mm.
an illness, as diabetes is one.
Yeah.
It's like that. And with the right treatment and management through medication, psychotherapy, and all that, it can be resolved.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. If you really enjoyed this video, just leave a comment in the comment section, join the community to further discuss it, and you want to, yeah, get just connect. I beg. So people know that me and English sometimes we fight, most times actually. So just connect and let me know in the comment section how you want to become a better person in life, yeah, in general. So thanks for watching this video. I'll see you on my next video. And please in the comment section also thank my uncle for gracing my
You're
channel.
welcome. You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much, uncle. And hopefully we'll call you again, you answer. You will even answer. What am I saying? You will answer now.
After the
Okay.
family meeting.
Bye guys.